Hello and welcome to Business Calculus. I'm your instructor, Scott Darty, and in this video, I'm just going to give you a brief overview into MyMathLab. So in MyMathLab, you'll have these buttons on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to go over each of these briefly. The first one is an announcements button. When you click on it, it'll pull up the MyMathLab calendar. Now, I'm making this video for my fall 2021 class. If you're taking this class in a semester after that, the calendar may look a little different. This is the month of August for 2021, and you'll notice sometimes on this MyMathLab calendar, you'll have these little icons. This icon indicates that there's been an announcement made on this day. If you click on the icon, it will pull up the announcement that I've posted on that day. Now, I'll be making announcements throughout the course, so you need to check for them regularly. When I post an announcement, I do send it to the email address that you've put into MyMathLab. So you can also check your email for the announcements that I make throughout the semester. The other icon that you might see on this MyMathLab calendar is a green rectangle or green square, and that indicates that there's a test due by that particular day. So you should also check for those as well, because you don't want to miss a test, of course. The next button you see here is the orientation button. When you click on it, it'll pull up an orientation document that I've created. And essentially, this document goes over the different buttons in MyMathLab, like I'm doing in this particular video. So I'll let you read through those if you want to. But a couple of pieces of information here in addition to that. This is my cell phone number if you want to text me, or you can email me at this email address as well. The other thing to mention here in this document is tests will be taken at your home without a proctor in MyMathLab. And so I'll show you how to access the tests in MyMathLab, but basically you'll take them at home and there's a place to access them in MyMathLab. And when you do that, it'll pull up this little menu and you'll have to enter in a password. And so the passwords for the tests are given in this document. So for example, for test 1, the password is test 1. For test 2, the password is test 2, and so on. And then the final exam, which is the last test you'll take, the password is final exam. So if you forget these passwords, it's in this document, the orientation document. Okay, so I'll let you read through the rest of this. If you have any questions about the orientation document, just let me know. The next button is where you'll find the assignments, including the homework, the quiz, and tests. Now you notice the very first assignment for this class is to take the orientation quiz. Now for my fall 2021 class, the 16-week semester one, the due date for the quiz is September 13th. Now, if you're taking a different class, the due date may be a little different. So make sure you check and see what the due date is in MyMathLab for your particular class. You need to take the orientation quiz before its due date or you'll be dropped from the class. So it's very important that you take the orientation quiz. It's not graded, so it's not part of your overall grade, but if you don't take it, I have to drop you from the class if you don't take it by the due date. So make sure you take it. Notice that over here, this infinity symbol means that you have an unlimited number of attempts on the orientation quiz, so you can take it as many times as you want, and there is no time limit. You also find the homework here. This is the homework from Chapter 3. I'm just going to pull up 3.4, and there's 12 questions in this particular section. I'm just going to pull up one of the homework assignments, like number 10. And you'll notice at the bottom you'll have this tutorial. So you have this Help Me Solve This button. Essentially what that does is it goes through this particular homework problem and guides you through the solution. Now you are going to have to put in some answers along the way, so if you don't know how to do this problem at all and you'd like to look at this other one called View an Example, what that does is it pulls up a very similar problem to this homework problem with different numbers, and it actually works through the entire problem, so you don't have to enter in any answers. And then after you look at that, maybe you can go back and use Help Me Solve This to solve this particular homework problem. And if you get it correct, you'll get credit for it because this is the actual problem in the homework. This other button here get more help, you can pull up a MyMathLab video that's related to this problem, or you can read in the textbook the particular topic that is related to this problem. Also have this Ask My Instructor button. What that'll do is it'll send this particular problem to me in an email, send it to my email, and then you can make comments and ask very specific questions about the problem. Like you can tell me, I don't understand this particular part of the problem, and I'll be able to see the problem because it'll be sent to me in the email. And usually I respond fairly quickly to emails, unless it's maybe really late at night or sometimes during the day I'm teaching and I can't get to my email. You can also print the problem out if you want a copy of it. Okay, so that's the homework. That's what the homework looks like. And then the tests, this is where you'll access the test. Like I mentioned before, if you click on this, you'll have to enter in the password here for the test. Tests are timed. This particular test has a time limit of 120 minutes, and you only get one attempt on the test. Now, before you take the test, you are going to look at the review for the test. The review for the test is not graded, and you notice you have an unlimited number of attempts on it, so you can work through it as much as you want until you feel prepared for the actual test. So make sure you always look at the review before you take the actual test. Okay, and the only other thing here is the final exam. This is where you can pull up the final exam. And of course, you want to take the practice final before you actually take the final. The final exam is timed. It's 180 minutes, and you only get one attempt on it. Whereas the practice final, you have an unlimited number of attempts. And again, the practice final is not graded. Okay, this syllabus button here pulls up the syllabus for your particular class. I'll let you read through that syllabus. If you have any questions about the syllabus, just let me know. This is where you can pull up the course calendar that I've made. Now, there's a MyMathLab calendar, which I mentioned before, but then there's also a course calendar that I created for our particular class. Now, on that calendar that I've made, you'll see that there's different sections on different days. For example, the first homework assignment is section 3.1, and then the next one is 3.2. Those will be posted on different days, and those are kind of what I call soft due dates. Those are suggested dates for you to complete the homework from those sections, but they're not hard due dates. And the hard due date for the homework is actually the very end of the semester. If you look in MyMathLab, the due date for the homework, as you can see here, this class is at the end of the semester. In this case, December 16th. Now, it may be different again if you're taking a different class in the fall 2021, that's 16 weeks. The homework is due at the end of the semester, technically, in MyMathLab. So the way this works is I just have suggested due dates, soft due dates on the calendar to help you keep up with the class material. But if you don't finish it by the due date on the calendar, you're not going to be penalized. The only penalty you'll suffer is at the end of the semester, if you haven't done the homework, then you'll get a 0 for it. Now, having said that, there are due dates also on the calendar for the tests, and those are hard due dates. So you must take the tests by the dates posted in the calendar. If you fail to do that, then you can no longer have access to the test. So, for example, test 1 is due sometime early in the semester. It's over chapter 3. I suggest that you try to get all the homework from chapter 3 due before the test. That's really the date that you should be shooting for. And you can use the calendar to help you guide yourself through that so that you don't wait till the last minute. And then the test has a hard due date, and you have to take it by that date. So again, it would be a good idea to get the homework done before you actually take the test that goes over that homework. Okay, the next button here is where you can access the textbook, the electronic copy of the textbook. You do not need to buy a physical copy of the textbook because the electronic copy is exactly the same thing. You can also pull up this multimedia library button, and this is where you can search for the videos in MyMathLab. You can search for them by chapter and section. So, for example, you can pull up Chapter 3, Section 3.1, and then click on Video, and then Find Now, and it'll pull up all the videos from Section 3.1. Now, this other stuff you can look at if you want, but I think the video is the most important. The videos are the most important thing that you'll pull up in this multimedia library. Now, I have my own videos for this class in D2L. So if you go to D2L for this class and look under the content button, I have videos posted for each section except 6.5, and I'll talk about that in a second. So this is the way you should go through the class, I think, is to watch the videos that I've posted in D2L. And then after you looked at the video for a particular section, you can start working on the homework. But if you'd like, you can also look at the MyMathLab videos. And the nice thing about the MyMathLab videos is they're broken down by topic, and they have very short videos. Like most of these are just a little more than a minute or 2 minutes long. The videos I have cover the entire section. Okay, but you can use both of them as a resource to get the content before you actually begin working on the homework. Okay, the Tools for Success button, you can pull up these review cards for calculus and algebra. The calculus review card is broken down by topic. So, for example, if you wanted to pull up something about limits, this is just a quick review or a reference for limits, like it has the rules for limits here if you just want a quick reference for that. Okay, so as long as you know what topic you're looking at, this is a good reference card for calculus. And there's also one for algebra. The interactive figures we won't be using in the course, so you can look at that if you're interested. That's optional. The Excel spreadsheet we won't be using, so you don't have to worry about that. If you happen to have a TI-84 graphing calculator, you can use some of these references here. Like this is a reference card for the TI-84 calculator. The TI-84 calculator is not required for the class, but if you happen to have one, you can use this as a reference. So for example, if you wanted to graph something on your calculator, you can look under this graphing section and it'll explain step by step what buttons to press to graph something on your calculator. Again, the TI-84 graphing calculator is not required for the class. So if you happen to have one, you could look at that reference card, but if you don't have one, it's not required. You can look at these Math Talk videos. That's optional. I'm not going to require those. You can look at those if you want. And then we're not going to be using any of this extended application material here. Okay, here you can pull up the gradebook. Under this show calculation, it'll break down your grade via homework, tests, and then I know it says quiz here, but that's where I put the final exam because that was the only location left in MyMathLab. There's 3 different categories. I put the final exam under the quiz category. Now, orientation quiz is not graded, so the orientation quiz is not part of this category. The only thing in this quiz category is the final exam. And notice the homework is worth 20 points. The final exam is worth 20 points. And then the test, that should say 60 points. I'll have to change it in the homework in the gradebook. And that adds up to 100 points. And so what's going to happen is, let's say at the end of the semester, you have a 50% average. 50% of 20 is 10 points, and that's how many points you will have earned out of 20. And so the points earned will be located over here, and then you just add up these points in all 3 spots here, and that'll give you your overall numerical grade for the class. The tutoring button, you can click on it. It gives the schedule for the tutoring that's available on the Montgomery campus in the library in what's called the Star Center. If you go to the back of the library on the Montgomery campus, that's where you'll find it. It would be a good idea to make an appointment before you go to the tutoring services. They have a phone number on that document that I've posted. You can show up without an appointment, but it's only on a first come, first served basis. The other alternative for tutoring is you can get tutoring online. If you go to D2L and click on the content button, under that content button, I've got a link to what's called BrainFuse, which is an online tutoring service. There's also a link to a video which explains how you can make an appointment using the BrainFuse service. So the first time you make an appointment, you might want to look at that video, and then you can go to the BrainFuse service and actually make an appointment online for tutoring. Now, I do think that they have some Montgomery tutors online, so you might want to request a Montgomery tutor. Okay, the only other thing I want to mention here is I have this special section for videos for section 6.5. These are YouTube videos that I pulled off the internet. And the reason I did this is because 6.5 is a section where you work out word problems, and there's various different types of word problems in this section. And so I just pulled up off of YouTube, I pulled up all these different types of word problems that you can look at. So I've got, these are all the different types of word problems that you might see in the homework. So it would be a good idea to look at these before you work out those particular types of word problems. Okay, so I recommend looking at these videos before you start working any of the homework in 6.5. Okay, so I think that covers all of the buttons in MyMathLab. If you have any questions about anything in MyMathLab, just let me know. You can either email me or, again, you can text me on my cell phone. I think that pretty much covers everything. Again, your first assignment is to take the orientation quiz before the official day, whatever that happens to be for your class. If you don't do that, I have to drop you from the class, so make sure you do that first. And then after you're done doing the orientation quiz, you want to go and start watching the videos from Chapter 3, like 3.1. I would start with the videos that I have in D2L that I've made and see if you like those. And if not, you can look at the ones in MyMathLab. But then after you look at the videos, you can start working on the homework. And then, of course, use the tutorial that I had that's in the homework, like Ask My Instructor or View an Example. Use those to help you work through the homework. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great semester, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.